how that came to be.
Yeah, I shot over a little favor, and it got granted. You know, I feel like it just makes sense. Pink shorts, Miami, the Sugar Show.
Was this fight with Chito always going to happen as your first title defense, do you think? Just with the backstory, the way the first fight went, and the dynamics between you two?
I mean, ideally it was going to play out like that, but it was never guaranteed. You know, he had to go out there and do his thing. He beat Pedro. Same night I knocked out Aljo, and the stars aligned.
I think the first fight's an interesting one, right, because of the way it ended. Do you even think that fight should count and can it even offer you anything tactically, or is it just like, hey, that happened, it was a weird one, this is the real fight, this is 5 rounds, this is how it's actually going to be looked at?
Yeah, you know, that fight never necessarily bothered me. You know, look where I'm at now. You know, that fight plays out a different way. I win that fight. Maybe the next fight I fight somebody that I wasn't ready for, and, you know, I lose. My career completely plays out different. So, you know, I go out there and knocked out Thomas Almeida like 7 times, and it was a beautiful performance. So, you know, grateful for, you know, everything that's happened, and that fight's never really bothered me. But I am excited to, you know, go out there and do what I was about to do in that first fight.
You obviously shone out against Aljamain, got the highlight reel KO. They put it online for free for everyone to watch. Do you sort of anticipate you can do something similar here against Chito with his style?
I mean, I think I could do that to anybody. But every time I get in there, that's not necessarily like, all right, I got to find the knockout. I'm just going in there to win. And, you know, that just happens a lot.
Outside of your own sport, there's a guy called Ryan Garcia calling you out. He's also saying a lot of pretty wacky stuff online. I'm not sure what exactly is going on with him. What do you make of his recent Twitter fingers and his attitude towards you?
I mean, cocaine's a hell of a drug. I think he's on drugs and he's acting a fool. I feel bad for him more than anything, you know.
I know you want this superstar route, right? And there's the MMA boxing crossover always comes up when it talks about superstars in MMA, but for a boxer to actually come to MMA, that would be a new look at that. Does that interest you, or do you think he's kind of just talking a little bit out of character and probably won't be meaning what he says?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Yeah, that will never happen. And if it does, I'm here for it. You know, I wouldn't be my fault that fight doesn't happen. So, but yeah, realistically, that'll never happen.
Sean, right here. Obviously, a lot of the narrative since your last fight, especially in Chito's fights, is, you know, Chito starts slow. He's, you know, it takes him a while to get going, and then he gets these late stoppages or anything like that. Do you agree with that assessment, or when you're watching Chito fight, is there just something different about him? Like, is he collecting data, as they say?
You know, I think him starting slow is why he's kind of able to finish guys later. You know, he's conserving his energy. So, yeah, I mean, it's just everyone has different styles, and that's kind of his style.
Talk to me about the pink shorts. How did those come about? Because I know you wanted them, and not everyone gets their, you know, custom shorts so close to fight week.
Yeah, I mean, I did a crazy thing going out there knocking out Aljamain Sterling. All I asked for was, you know, can I get some pink shorts, and they made it happen.
And your jiu-jitsu coach Augusto was on a podcast earlier, and he said that he wouldn't mind grappling Merab at some point. So what do you think of those words, and how do you think he'd do?
I think Merab would last a couple minutes, maybe. Tanquinho would sub him fairly quickly.
Here. Speaking of Merab, he's supposed to be the backup for this fight. If Chito doesn't make it, are you willing to fight him?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And talk to me about what a win over Chito would do for your career, because, you know, that's your only like official loss, right? And we see some of the greats like GSP, Avenger losses and stuff like that. What would it do to your legacy to get that one back?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's there in the first place, so just kind of this to me is just another fight. It really is.
Yeah, and you've gone back and forth a bit on social media with Ilia Topuria. What'd you make of his knockout win over Volkanovski, and is that a fight that you could see down the line?
Beautiful performance. I was there live. It was a cool moment. It was, you know, Ili's a scary little dude, so that fight excites me. Would definitely like to get that fight eventually.
Yeah. Obviously, that would involve you moving up to 145?
Yeah, I would move up to 145 for that, but I'm a bantamweight, you know, for the next couple of years. So if I did do that, it would be up there. I'd just go up there, knock him out real quick, then head back down.
Thank you.
Sean over here. Now that you're about to go on to your first title defense, how do you envision your title reign going like in the UFC?
Forever. You're just gonna. I don't know. I'm just going with the flow right now. You know, I've learned firsthand when I fought Chito the first time, anything can happen. I always knew that, but nothing ever happened to me to where you know it was real. Anything can happen. I'm not looking past him. You know, but for fun, you want to say, you know, what happens in the next 5-10 years? I'd love to never lose. So, but you know, it's going with the flow.
And last time out in Boston, the crowd was strongly in your favor. This time out here in Miami, we know there's a huge Hispanic presence. How do you think the crowd will split on Saturday night?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. I think it'll be fairly even.
And do you see a world where you and Chito become friends after all this is settled?
You know, I'm not really running low on friends. I got a nice tight circle, so probably, you know, if in another world we probably would have been buds. But you know, we're in this world. He stinks. I'm great. We're not buds.
No, Sean right here. What did you make of Merab's performance? And I guess, do you feel like he is going to be the guy that's next for you?
Yeah, and again, he had a great performance too. Henry didn't look great by any means, but Merab did what he does, and he almost gets knocked out and then wins. It was impressive. Very well could be next. I like having my options open, and but yeah, he could be.
I think a lot of people think he might be one of the more difficult stylistic matchups for you in the division. Do you agree with that, or do you think maybe you don't get enough credit in the grappling department?
I thought Aljamain Sterling was the hardest matchup for me in the division, and put his lights out in 2 rounds. I think Merab's definitely up there as everybody in the top 10 is a challenge. No one's an easy fight. Chito's not an easy fight. So yeah, Merab's a tough fight. Chito's a tough fight. Elia's a tough fight. You know, I'm not. They're all tough fights.
Hi, Sean, over here. Usually when fighters refer to each other during fight week, they leave the trash talk behind. And with that said, will you share with us your honest opinion about Chito?
Yeah, we talked in the DMs a little bit on Instagram. Have you guys had him up here yet? Ask him what we talked about. See what he says.
Do you care to share a prediction for the fight?
Sleep in this man.
Here. Sean, you usually don't recognize Chito's style and level. However, what got your attention in the fighting he had with Rob Font and Dominic Cruz, what do you think you have to take care in your second fight against Chito?
I think I understood that. Yeah, he gets, Rob was kind of piecing him up. Chito was landing the bigger shots and doing way more damage. Dominic Cruz was piecing him up until he got kicked in the lips. So, he's durable. He's very, very tough. He's never been dropped. He's never been subbed. He's never been knocked out. So, I take that away from those fights. He's just very tough.
If Chito wins you this Saturday in the Casella Center, would you recognize the 2-0?
The what? The syrup?
2-0?
Oh, 2-0. No, if he would have beat me, he would have beat me once. And that's simple.
Thank you.
Sean over here, greetings from Ecuador. A lot of people in my country hate you because you put our flag's color in your hair last time. Would you do it again?
No, that was karma. That's why my fucking nerve got kicked. I was like, God damn it! I knew I shouldn't have done that.
Okay. So another question. It seems like you are watching just in the future. You are talking about Ryan Garcia. You are talking about Ilia Topuria, but you haven't won this fight yet. What happens if you lose this Saturday?
Then I don't get those fights. I've been saying it all week. I don't care to talk about that stuff right now. I'm focused on Chito. If I don't go beat Chito, none of those fights happen. So I'm focused on Chito.
I understand you don't appreciate Chito very much, but what's the most dangerous thing about him?
His durability. He's hard to put away. If you can't put him away, you better be able to go for 25 minutes. So I'm planning on a 25-minute war.
Thank you so much.
Sean,
Will you fight Aljamain Sterling again? Likely or not likely?
Very unlikely.
And what were your thoughts on Henry Cejudo not retiring after a while?
I mean, I don't want to kick him when he's down. He's not doing too good. He didn't look good at all. He's been this. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah, it's his life to choose what he does with it.
And last one from me. Do you feel like you getting the pink shorts is going to create like a catalyst for all of the other champions to get shorts that they want?
Possibly. I mean, I don't see why not. I don't think, it's just the color of the short. I don't think so. I think champs should get it whatever the champs want. So I think maybe start a little trend.
Sean, over here. Greetings from Ecuador too. Sean, how do you feel having to defend your title against an opponent that previously beat you, knowing that the first time you were injured? You are ready for this rematch?
Yeah, I've been ready for it. Everyone after that fight said, you got to get that rematch, you got to get that rematch. And I said, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. That fight will come together if it's supposed to. I never lost sleep over that fight. I never thought, I got to get that one back. That just stings me. It happened. My career's played out beautifully. Here we are. Yeah, I'm ready for the rematch.
I don't know if you have talked to Chito before this fight.
Oh, yeah, I did. We talked in the DMs. He's a good family man. Just ask him what we talked about and see if he tells you guys. Yep. See you guys.